Hey, Kyle Leon, back here with Aaron Giberson, and we have a nice video lesson for you today that's going to identify a very big no-no when it comes to putting together a training split designed to create lean muscle mass, okay? That's specifically what we're talking about today, nothing to do with fat loss or anything like that. We're talking about the goal of packing on muscle and why we cannot make this mistake when you're putting together your training split. The actual mistake itself is putting two major muscle groups together in the same workout. Okay, we do not want to do this. We want to stay away from this as far as we possibly can, and we're going to explain why.
Yeah, basically, this is one of the biggest mistakes in the gym that a lot of guys do that actually hold them back from a lot of their progress. And it is just essentially that, training two major muscle groups together. So your major muscle groups are going to be like your back, your legs, even your chest. And basically, these muscles are made up of a lot of other smaller muscle groups, so they actually require a lot more energy and a lot more volume. So to actually combine them both in the exact same day, you're actually just going to end up working backwards. Because there's actually no way you can train with the same volume and the same intensity and the same kind of energy for both muscle groups. It's not possible.
It's strictly too taxing on your system on all fronts, okay? One of the biggest keys, and if not the biggest key by far, when looking to achieve lean muscle growth is intensity, okay, during the workout. And intensity is something we're going to do another video on altogether. But basically, if you're going to train two major muscle groups, for instance, legs and back in the same workout, your intensity will suffer, okay, on that following muscle group, the second muscle group. Or what you're going to end up doing is just taking it a little bit easier on the first muscle group that you need to be obliterating to create growth, and you're going to be working backwards in both ways. Basically, there's two scenarios. Explain the two scenarios that's going to happen to you if you end up putting these two major muscle groups together.
Yeah, so if we use Kyle's example, we did leg and back. So say you start off doing your leg training and you're doing it all out intensity, high volume, killing it. By the time you get to your back workout, it's going to suffer tremendously. You're not going to have the energy to do that kind of volume. You'll probably feel like stopping and getting something to eat or drinking something. Plus, there's absolutely no way your body's going to be able to put out the exact intensity that you had for your first leg exercise and stuff. So your back is going to suffer. You're going to end up not developing your back. Your legs will probably grow in the long run, but your back's going to become a weak point in your body. Now, the second scenario of trying to do an even keel with your intensity, so kind of like trying to level it off so you can do it for both, is just going to kill your entire workout. So now both muscle groups aren't going to grow. So you're not going to have your stimulation of both muscle groups to trigger enough muscle growth at all. So
now this is an important point. Now it doesn't specifically apply to the beginner, the very, very beginner, as much as it does to a guy that's at least been training a little bit in the gym, and by a little bit I mean a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to that point, we cannot make this mistake any longer. You might read in magazines that some of the pros out there will in fact have a split that has these major muscle groups together, but you have to remember that is a different animal altogether, and we'll explain exactly why you cannot get confused with being able to take that routine and applying it to your routine.
Yeah, well, basically, you take someone like Jay Cutler, for example. He's already at a level. He's not looking to put on 20 or 30 more pounds. He's trying to just mold and sculpt exactly what he has. So he's not in the gym trying to pack on slabs of beef. So he's able to do it. Plus, a lot of times, what you read in the magazines isn't true. They may do legs and back within the same day, but it's actually two different workouts. Because who's kidding who? Like, no one has the energy or the intensity to do both. So for anybody that's intermediate, just like Kyle said, someone's been in the gym for a couple of years, you definitely want to take this to heart. Now there is a bit of an exception. You can do say your work schedule or just the way you like training in the gym. You can do a minor muscle group with a major muscle group. Like what would be a good example?
Exactly, chest and tris, back and bis, or the opposite. Chest and bis. Back and tris. That type of thing is cool and can yield extremely good results when done properly. If you can maintain the proper level of intensity for that workout and still receive the maximal results from what we've seen on many clients and ourselves personally. We don't have a problem with that. We advocate that actually a lot of the time, but it's that level of going from major to major. Can't pull it off. I think that's really going to help you in the long run if you keep that rule in your mind when you're developing any split or following any routine, moving forward, trying to achieve your ultimate physique goal, whatever that may be.
Yeah, basically the last thing I want to leave you guys off with, take our program for example. we're breaking up our body part split to basically do one body part per day in the gym. And that's to basically maximize every day we go to the gym so we can absolutely just annihilate and kill that one muscle group. So, we got back on one day, legs on one day, chest on one day. We will combine bis and tris because they're two small body groups or muscle groups, but we will do shoulders by themselves as well. Make this rule one of the important things you apply to your workout programs. So basically, whatever program you're designing or, borrowing from the net or something like that, make sure that you're separating your major muscle groups and you're going to get a lot more out of your programs.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.